It didn't happen overnight. No trumpet sounded. No flames consumed the skyline in a single breath. The fall of the Roman Empire was slow, not an explosion, but an erosion. The world's greatest empire didn't collapse in a moment of chaos. It decayed, piece by piece. For centuries, Rome stood as the beating heart of civilization. Its roads carved paths through 3 continents. Its laws shaped empires. Its legions marched with discipline and fury. In its prime, Rome wasn't merely a place, it was an idea. A symbol of order, strength, and dominance. The grandeur of its architecture, the scale of its conquests, and the richness of its culture became the standard by which all others would be measured. But beneath the marble, the cracks had already begun to form. By the 3rd century, the empire was no longer the unstoppable force it once was. Its sheer size, once a source of pride, had become its greatest burden. From the cold moors of Britain to the scorching sands of Egypt, Rome was stretched beyond its limits. Governance became difficult. Corruption flourished. The once sacred Senate was reduced to whispers in shadowed halls. Emperors rose and fell with frightening speed, some lasting only months before meeting violent ends. In just 5 decades, more than 20 emperors sat upon the throne, many murdered by the very legions sworn to protect them. Then came plague. Cities emptied. Fields lay fallow. The economy crumbled. Roman coins, once trusted across continents, lost their value. Inflation soared. Trade faltered. Hunger gnawed at the edges of empire. And still, the borders stretched undefended by weary soldiers and foreign mercenaries with little loyalty to the empire they served. As Rome's internal wounds festered, new dangers approached. They called them barbarians, tribes from the forests and steppes of the north and east. But these were not faceless hordes. They were families. Refugees. Warriors pushed westward by the rising storm of the Huns, desperate for land, security, and survival. The Visigoths. The Vandals. The Franks. They came not to destroy Rome but to join it. Rome, short on soldiers, welcomed many of them, or thought it had. In truth, it let the wolf into the fold. The relationship between Rome and the barbarian tribes was strained and fragile. Promises were made, and broken. Payments were delayed. Prejudices festered. And trust withered. In 378 AD, the Roman army suffered a devastating defeat at the Battle of Adrianople. The Eastern Emperor Valens was killed. An entire legion was crushed by Gothic forces, many of whom had once served under the Roman banner. The invincible aura of Roman arms had been shattered. Desperate to survive, the empire was divided in 2, east and west, by Emperor Diocletian. The hope was that a more manageable structure could preserve power. The east, centered in Constantinople, endured and adapted. But the west, based in Rome and later Ravenna, continued to crumble under its own weight. Then, in 410 AD, the unimaginable occurred. Alaric, king of the Visigoths, marched on Rome. Not as a mad conqueror but as a betrayed ally denied lands and dignity, he led his people into the Eternal City. They looted. They desecrated. But they didn't burn it to the ground. Still, the psychological damage was irreversible. Rome, the city that had not been breached in over 800 years, was no longer invincible. Over the following decades, the Western Empire limped on. It became a ghost of its former self. Authority shifted from emperors to generals. Civil wars drained the treasury. One by one, Roman provinces slipped away. Gaul, Hispania, North Africa, lost to invaders or to neglect. Then, in 476 AD, came the final breath. Romulus Augustulus, a teenage boy with a borrowed crown, sat on the throne of the Western Roman Empire. His reign was short and powerless. That year, a Germanic chieftain named Odoacer deposed him. There was no grand battle, no final resistance. Romulus simply disappeared into history. The Western Roman Empire was gone. No funeral was held. No mourning echoed through the streets. It simply ended. But Rome itself did not die. Its language became the seeds of French, Spanish, and Italian. Its laws influenced modern justice. Its religion shaped the Christian West. And its memory haunted kings and popes for centuries to come. The fall of Rome was not the end of civilization but the end of an age. It teaches us a sobering truth, that no empire, no matter how grand, is immune to time. That strength without wisdom collapses. That the greatest threat to a civilization may not lie beyond its borders but within its own heart. Rome did not fall to a single enemy. It fell to 1,000 small failures. And in those failures, we see the fragility of all things built by men.